showing up and supporting the football team and creating an environment out there that our players were excited to go out and play. I thought our student section did a great job today. I was really pleased to see the turnout from them. We're going to just continue to try to build and create the type of environment that a lot of people want to be a part of every single Saturday. But I really appreciate the fans that showed up. I want to give my hats off to Howard. They were a well-coached football team, played hard today, and had a couple injuries there, and I hope they're going to be okay. Marquise Blanchard, I believe, was the defensive lineman that got carted off. Thoughts and prayers are with him for a speedy recovery, and hopefully he's going to be okay. Really a tale of two halves. Did not start the game the way we wanted to start it. Touchdown on defense, turnover on offense, another touchdown. We're down 14-0 before the game really even got started. It's not the way we construct football games. We recovered, rebounded, and hung in there in the first half, got into halftime, made some corrections, adjustments, really just motivated the guys to go out and play the way that we need to be playing. And we came out in the second half, and I think we controlled the line of scrimmage in the second half the way we want to be able to do that, and the way we should have done it from the start in this game. We went into halftime, I believe we had about 63 yards rushing, ended up with 375 yards rushing. That's the type of stat that we'd like to have with this offense. I thought O-line played well in the second half. The running backs ran hard in the second half. Can't say enough about Janarian Grant, what he brings to the offense and to special teams. He's right now our most electric player, and we can't get the ball in his hands enough. And obviously the big kickoff return helped us generate some momentum there in the first half when things were bleak. Second half, defensively, we did a better job of getting off the field. First half, our issues were third down. We couldn't get off the field. Lost leverage a couple times on the run, and allowed the quarterback on the quarterback zone read to make some plays with his feet a little bit. We just can't do those things. But really give my hats off to our players. Was not a good first half. Was not a halftime that we want to have here, but they responded the right way and came out, continued to play, continued to fight, and the result was what we wanted, the way this game ended up. So with that, go ahead and open up your questions.
Chris, you mentioned the tale of two halves. Can you tell us, what was the locker room like? Was it encouragement? Was it a lot of fire and brimstone, so to speak?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both. It's all situational. Some groups needed to have a fire lit under them, and some of them didn't. So it was all situational based on how they played in the first half. But we needed to get a fire lit under this football team and get them motivated to go in the second half. And they were down by halftime with the way they played.
Coach, you said the second half. First half you guys was losing gap integrity. In the first half. The second half, like you said, it was a half of two different halves. What are some of the corrections you made in the second half? Guys playing better leverage and so forth.
Well, the issues in the first half defensively, again, they ran a lot of outside stretch plays, pulling a guard, center. We lost leverage on the outside a couple times. We did not control the quarterback run game very well in the first half. He was able to pull it down on the read, get outside our end, and we didn't have an overhang player the way that we have it structured in our defense to have. We just made those corrections. It wasn't about changing calls, anything like that. Just making sure the guys were assignment sound with what they were supposed to do within the calls that we were making. And we needed to tackle, but our first half we didn't tackle very well. We were tackling high. We were tackling the way that we teach tackling to be made, and we were missing some tackles, and we were getting knocked back at times too. And we needed to go back and to really re-emphasize to do the fundamentals the way that we want them to be done, and play within the structure of the defense. I think we did that in the second half.
What was your assessment of Laviano's play?
Well, it started off a little poor, with the turnover there in the first drive. It's not what we want. Again, ball security is something he needs to continue to improve on. Again, I'll give the kid credit. He battled back and held it together, held the offense together to come back and play the way they did in the second half. But the ball security continues to be something we've got to improve on this offense.
Was it the plan all along to use other quarterbacks, and how would you assess how?
No, I mean the plan was to play our offense, our starters like we did, and rotate certain guys like we normally would. When you play a game like this and score that many points and get up that many points, obviously you're going to put other guys in the game. And that's no different this game or any other game that we get into this situation if we're lucky to. So we're going to put guys in as the game allows us to do so.
What do you like about those two guys?
Who's that?
The two quarterbacks.
Gio.
Gio.
Well, Gio came in for a series, scored a touchdown, so I liked him pretty good. He did a nice job. Pretty good ratio. One drive, one touchdown. And Tylen did some good things running the ball also. So we didn't didn't ask them to do a whole lot, but what we asked them to do, they did, and I was happy for those two individuals to get out there and have some success.
Chris, can you describe kind of just maybe for you what the emotional journey is like a little bit? You're down 4-0, you got to be, a little bit taken aback on your sideline, and then carrying it through to the end where you do get your first win as as a college head coach. Just what that was like for you this afternoon?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you win a college football game, you got to be relieved because they're hard to do. I don't care who you play, who you are. Winning games is hard, and I've learned in my career that you got to celebrate the victories. Do I want us to play better? Absolutely. Again, I talked after the first game, we didn't play to our full potential. I didn't think we did this game either. But we got a lot closer in the second half. The second half was more of the type of football team and the style of football I want us to be able to play, and that's what we envisioned. But yeah, it was emotional to say the least, to start the game the way we started, down 14-0 really fast, and you just do what you want the players to do. You can't panic, you can't flip out. You got to stay with the plan, stay with the course, and keep coaching, keep adjusting, and that's what we did, and that's what our players did. And the end result was what we wanted.
Chris, what did you think when you saw Laviano make that block on that Wildcat run?
Chris is a tough kid, and he's going to throw his body in there to help his teammates. Never questioned that about him at all. And I was really happy that he did that. That shows he's unselfish. He wants to do well. He wants his teammates to do well, and he knows he has a role to help spring big runs like that. And that's not a surprise to me that he did it.
Chris, you never said you were gonna redshirt Tylen Oden, but to play him now and take the red shirt off him this early in the season in a blowout game, can we expect to see more of him now?
We hope to. I mean, he's still got a long way to go, but we needed to get him in there to see what he could do. We've seen him in practice do certain things, and obviously we ran him while he was in there. We wanted to see how he could run. But yeah, I never said we were red shirt. I've never told you we'd play him either. It just happened that the score got that way, and we had conversations throughout training camp that what are we going to do with Tylen, and as he's continued to improve and progress, he's a guy that fits our offense, and when we get the opportunity to get him in there, we're going to get him in there.
Toward the second half, Chris, they were so gassed, obviously, how it was. Do you think that is that an upside of the spread offense when it's doing what it's supposed to do, and does it have more chances to do that with some of these other, when you mix it up like that? I mean, did you wear them down a little, or?
Well, yeah, I hope so. I mean, depth is an issue in college football. I mean, it really is. There are very few coaches that have the depth that they want. We don't have the depth that we want. Now, obviously, Howard probably doesn't have the depth that they want. And for us, we talk about our conditioning, we talk about our physicality at the line of scrimmage, and our ability to run the football, the tempo that we use. If you put all those things together, hopefully you're going to wear teams down as the game goes on. And we did that today, and that's what we want to be able to do as we move forward. We got to do it better. We got to do it earlier. But that's what we're hopefully designed to do and working towards being able to do consistently.
How hot was it out there, and how did you manage to keep that windbreaker on for the entire game?
I don't know how hot it was. If you saw my gut, you'd know why I got a windbreaker on. So trying to sweat it out a little bit.
Chris, obviously you scored 52 points, but can you quantify how big the Janarian Grant kickoff return was at that point, 14-0?
Oh, it was huge. Yeah, we were down, and we were struggling. And special teams is a big part of what we do. We obviously talked about negative special teams plays after last week, and we made some positive ones today that changed the momentum in the football game and created a little energy in the stadium and on the sideline. Janarian is an outstanding player, and he does a lot of things for us. In fact, that it's not just him, but the guys on that kickoff return team, the way that they blocked and executed their assignments on that particular play to allow them to break it says a lot about those guys. So really happy for him and that whole unit.
Final two questions. Particularly on defense, because that's where your past is and what you've worked with so much. The two quick touchdowns. I mean, is it hard for you just not to be ticked off, not to be angry with them, and try to get them playing better?
Yeah, like it's hard to be not ticked off, but I was ticked off. It's hard not to be. I failed that one, but as we kept coaching and coaching and coaching, and got a few things adjusted as we went through the game and played much better. But yeah, not happy with the way we started that football game. And again, just leveraging the ball, tackling, and third down. Those were issues early in the game.
And did you let them know that, I presume?
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but that's part of coaching.
Coach, just from the top of your head, going into next week's game, what are the point of emphasis that you think you need to make adjustment in your game plan going to New Mexico State?
Well, I mean, each week is different. Each week's a new week. I mean, we have a system on offense, defense, and special teams that we are who we are, but we'll make adjustments based on an opponent's defense or offense or special teams and what they do. We have a real game next weekend. If you guys don't know much about New Mexico, it's a real team coming in here. They run the option. They've got good skilled players. Coach Bob Davies, an outstanding football coach. They've been able to run the ball on anybody. They do a lot of exotic things on defense that create problems. So this is a real football team and a real test for us next week. And we have to have a great week of preparation because if you don't, that option will kill you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.